Shannon, what are you doing?
Adam, I'm trying to keep track of my thoughts. I'm trying to record whether they're from ego or soul. You know, like my good thoughts and my bad thoughts.
Wow. Good luck with that.
Hi there, I'm Shannon Elhart, the Maven of Mindfulness, and you are in the place to be to learn how to live a more mindful life. So if you watched a video previously, I hope you did, it's entitled Mindfulness is Sexy. And the reason why it is sexy is because when you're more mindful, I believe you are more confident. And if there's anything that is sexy about a man or a woman, it's confidence and authenticity, which is also built with mindfulness. So today we're going to talk about how do you use mindfulness to become more confident and to become more aware and authentic of who you are. So let me start by asking you a few questions. Which of these sounds rings more familiar or more true for you? Do you hear internal messages such as, I'll never be able to do that, I'm not good enough, I'm worried about, I'm too fat, ugly, stupid, whatever? Or do you hear messages like, I'm strong, intelligent, capable, I can do this, I got it, I'm smart, I'm able to do these things? Which do you hear more of? All right, next one. Do you enter a work or a social environment just certain of who you are? I am fine just the way I am. Or do you enter a social or work environment worried about how you look, what you wear? Do I have the right jewelry on? And is my hair okay? And my lipstick okay? Or whatever. Which do you tend to do more of? Third one. Do you go through your daily life making decisions that feel right for you? I want to do this and that. Not meaning you push people around or only your agenda. But you feel good about making your decisions and they're authentic? Or are you always worried what other people think and you're always trying to make everybody happy? Now keep in mind, of course, if you're employed, you need to do what your boss is asking of you. But do you go overboard trying to make your mom happy, your neighbor happy, everybody happy around you so that you suffer and are miserable? Last question. Do you often worry and feel frightened about your future? About the safety of your loved ones, about the world and your finances? Do you tend to worry a lot? Or are you like, you know what, I'm good. I work hard. I know I'll always be taken care of. Which train of thinking do you do more often? Because if you're more in the train of worrying what other people think, worrying about your future, trying to make everybody happy and approve of you, and making sure you're doing everything right, you're probably living more from ego. And that's not a fun place to be. So I want to encourage you to do something in the next week, if you are wondering where you're living from, ego or soul, to really monitor and evaluate. And this is what you're going to do. It might sound a little extensive, but hear me out first. I was challenged to do this sometime in the last decade, probably about last decade. Someone who cared about me said, Shannon, why don't you pay attention to your thoughts? Think about your thoughts. And I was like, how do you do that? But I did what was suggested to me, and I'm going to share with you what I did in just a moment. And I will be honest, I was pretty horrified at how brutal I was to myself. I was not very kind. I consider myself a kind person, but I was pretty harsh to myself. It's never really good enough. And so tuning in and paying attention to those thoughts was the first step. This is what you do. If you can, I'm going to give you the maximum thing that you can do, and you can whittle it down to whatever's comfortable. Get a little notebook. Just something really simple and small. Throw it in your purse or your bag or your car, whatever. And jot down any thoughts that you're having. You could set your phone to go off every hour or whatever works for you, just to remind you, what have I been thinking about? Have you been thinking about saying negative things to yourself? Because if you looked in the mirror and you're like, I am hot today, that's great. Write it down. Don't be ashamed. It's good to feel good about yourself. And also reflect on your day at the end of the day. Was there anything you worried about? Whether it was tiny, like, I'm not sure I'm going to make it to the next gas station, or I'm worried the world is going to explode. Anything that you're worried about. Third thing, what decisions did you make and why? Are you making decisions that are authentic, or are you making them to make other people happy? Or are you perhaps making decisions that you know don't feel good? Like, to me, it doesn't feel good to gossip. And so if I ever find myself talking about somebody, when I walk away, it doesn't feel very good. So think about some decisions you made. Even if you went to visit your mom or your dad, did you go because you wanted to, or did you feel obligated to go? And also on that note, sometimes we just need to do kind things for other people. So don't get me wrong. You're going to a social event or work. Are you always worried about what you're wearing, what you look like, what other people think about? Or are you just going authentically? And finally, anything, at the end of the day, anything that resulted in you feeling uncomfortable, worried, scared, anxious, frustrated, angry, write down anything or circle anything on that list that made you feel any of those ways. I know that sounds like a lot. You can do less than you want, but those are some suggestions. The goal is this: know what your triggers are. What are your triggers that set you into a place of fear, anger, worry, anxiety? Because you know what? They all start up here. They're always preceded with your thoughts. Your emotions are always preceded with your thoughts. For me, my triggers were worrying what everybody thought about me. I used to worry all the time. And I worried about my kids. I was always worrying. That was a big trigger for me. So find out what your triggers are, and I will be teaching you more. For now, scroll on down and leave a comment. What are your triggers? What seems to be the thing that sets off your ego and lets your ego start ruling your life with fear and worry and anxiety and all that bad mojo? Share it down below, because that will encourage somebody, I guarantee. And be sure you forward this video. I am certain you know somebody who would benefit by learning a little bit more about paying attention to their thoughts so that they can live more from a soulful love place rather than the fearful ego place. So be sure to forward this video. And finally, go to greenheartmindfulness.com so you can put your name and email in there and get these videos right in your inbox.